as I always do. Hi, I'm Mark Alyn. That was some chicken. Anyway, we're going to be having a lot of fun today. One of my favorite people in the world is joining us today. My only regret is that I've only known him for 10, 11 years. I only wish that I've known the insane Daryl Wayne for 60 years or more. Um, we're going to be making the Daryl Wayne, or the insane Daryl Wayne, rock and roll eggs Benedict. That's happening right now, live on Mark Alyn Cooks. Join us, won't you? And welcome to Mark Alyn Cooks. If you are around and you're watching us today, there is a little place here on Facebook and you can make comments. And we will look at those comments and we'd really like to hear from you. We're going to be making a very hot dish because our guest is very hot. Let's bring in the insane Daryl Wayne. Hello, Daryl.
Hello. There we go. My
I
red
like it.
line went away. I guess that means I can speak now, right?
Yeah, you can. You can talk and everything. Daryl and
Imagine
I
that.
have hosted and produced. Oh, hello, Gary Bomalicki, the bomber. And by the way, before I have to tell everybody who's watching, uh, we're going to start with the toast. But Bomber, I'm going to be back to you in a moment. Let's toast. I have from our friends at Three Spirit, Libner, Livener, their mix, and this is a mocktail, Livener, and they're going to be joining us on February 7th as we celebrate Valentine's Day a little early with a bunch of mocktails. Okay, so salute to you, to life, to health, to happiness, and now we've been doing a dry January, but you've been dry for how many centuries
You
now?
make me do the math. It turned out to be 400 and something, 457 months. I think.
457 months. It's over
Long
30
time.
years. Long time.
Yeah,
30.
38-ish. Yeah.
Wow. And growing. I mean, every day
Well,
is another step.
you hope. Right? At this point, yeah, I don't think that I would just go nuts and get upset and grab a beer or grab a bottle of vodka. It would take a little more than something than a nudge.
Well, I have to tell everybody that Daryl works every day in radio. He's on Boss Radio. Let's bring up his lower third, and you can see how to see Daryl or how to hear Daryl actually on Boss Radio. And then tonight, along with the bomber, Gary Bomalicki, you do a show, and I think it's almost you've been doing it for live for what 20 years?
20 years plus, we do a show called The Knuckleheads. It is a free format radio program where we play what we play, we say what we want to say, and we take requests and celebrate rock and roll birthdays and have guests on. Last week we had Neil Norman on. Neil is the president and CEO and CTO of Crescendo Records, GP and Crescendo Records, and which is a record company, and he's does some great stuff. He did the Seeds documentary film. He also was working on a documentary film to memorialize his father. His father was involved in owned the Crescendo Club in Hollywood back in the late 50s and early 60s, and did a lot of live recording and put out some great stuff. So he's got a
And
couple of pet projects he's doing, which really are interesting. And just a fact whale when it comes to rock and roll because he was there most of
more
the time.
than more than you. Denise Anderson says hello to both of us. Thank you, Denise. We appreciate that. If you are watching and you want to make a comment, you can. We're going to start cooking in just a second. Number of years ago, we were at the NAB in Las Vegas, and you took me to a restaurant. We're not going to mention the name, but you really like spicy foods, as I do,
I enjoy it. Yeah, yeah.
right? So
Yes, very much.
we're gonna make the insane Daryl Wayne rock and roll eggs Benedict. Somebody's gonna ask, and I'm gonna jump to it. How did you get
Yep.
the name Insane?
It was in about 1977. Um, there were three people in attendance. We were all in the control room at K Rock, and it was myself, Stephen Clean. His real name is Stephen Siegel, who's since passed, and he went by the obscene Stephen Clean. And the other person in attendance was Fraser Smith. Fraser, pretty well-known stand-up comic and a radio guy here in LA. He worked at KMET, KLOS, at K Rock, and just in the middle of the sentence, Fraser got this look on his face and said, "If he's the obscene Stephen Clean, you must be the insane Daryl Wayne." I was already using Daryl Wayne on the air anyway, and so it fit. You know, it's something you just take. It was a gift.
What?
It just appeared. It's like with the knucklehead show that we do. We've been doing it for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, and Derek, the guy that owns the radio stations in Albuquerque that we're on, went into the Allsup Market, which is like a 7-Eleven here in Southern California. And the guy behind the counter said, "You're the guy that owns the radio station here." He said, "Yes, I am." He says, "Who are those knuckleheads on Wednesday night?" And we said, "We'll take it." And ever since then, we've been known as the knuckleheads.
I love it. Well,
There have been members
gonna
come and go, but the core people, Gary and I that started, are still attending every week.
that is cool. We're gonna start making this. Um, we're gonna have the recipe up. We've modified it. Now I've got some roasted chicken, and I'm gonna start by putting that into the bowl right here. And then I've got some sweet potato that we're putting in, um, and I peeled it for the most part.
Maybe you know the answer to this. What's the difference between a sweet potato and a yam?
Yeah, do you know? Because
No,
no,
I don't. They look different. I mean, one's a yellow and one's more of a
a couple of
orangey.
weeks ago, I bought some purple sweet potatoes, and I really liked them. They were small and kind of cute, and I liked them. What goes in next, Daryl? Do you remember?
I don't. I don't have the recipe in front of me. No, I was
All right,
hoping that you
so
would.
we're going to add some scallions or green onions,
That sounds good. You got
and
the chicken and the sweet potato in there. Those are the most important ingredients. We
yeah,
get some cilantro.
yes, that's what's
Cilantro,
that.
yeah, cilantro's good.
Do you
Yeah.
like the smell of cilantro?
I like the smell of it. I like the taste of it. It is an acquired taste, I think. Some people don't like it,
I know.
but I can just take a leaf of it and eat it. Of course, my grandfather used to always eat the parsley off the plate, and so you eat this, and it,
My
makes things
mother-in-law
heavy.
did that. Yeah, my mother-in-law did.
So,
All right, I'm going to move these
so
over.
I sort of picked that up from them, and ever since at least taste it. I like
Uh,
the cabbage they'll put on a plate as decoration, too, or not really decoration, and trying to
yeah.
frou-frou the plate or whatever they're doing.
All right,
Yeah,
next.
I'll eat the everything on the plate. At least try it.
Yeah, I like fresh parsley, and we've used that in some of our recipes. All right, then and it smells great. All right,
And the bugs don't like it, so it's good.
yeah, I'm gonna add some pepper,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna add some honey. Ooh. Now this is honey from Ojai,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna stir that up.
Now, I thought maybe you had some funk honey there.
Yeah, you
Our
have to be
buddy
careful.
Funk is raising bees, and he's got honey. So
Does he really?
yeah, it's really good.
Wow. Well, we ought to have him on the show then, huh?
Have him bring some honey.
Yeah. I'm going to add now. You got to be careful with this one, Daryl. Maybe not to you, but to me. And I like hot food. This is chipotle, diced chipotle peppers, and it's
Okay, and those are jalapenos that have been roasted.
And Carol is saying, hold off. You heard that, right?
I did. She hit the brakes. I could feel it here.
Yes. So I'm going to mix this all up. I don't know what's keeping this together, Daryl.
You mean what's binding it?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I guess the chipotles would help, but
yeah,
it's supposed to have sort of the consistency of like a corned beef hash, right?
right.
It doesn't really hold together per se, but the original recipe had you put a metal ring down and put it sort of press it down and then remove the ring and put the rest on top.
Got
But
it.
you were going to sort of do a patty with it.
All right, let's go over here. We're going to add some olive oil right here. Swish that around. Now, what we're going to be doing, as I understand it, Daryl,
Yes.
is we're replacing an English muffin with this chicken sweet potato cilantro hash, right?
Sure. Yeah, it's on the bottom. Yeah. It's the base you're building upon.
And I'm still not sure what's binding it, so I'm going to add a little bit more honey, and that'll counteract, Carol, the chipotle.
You won't know whether to laugh or cry when you eat it.
That's right. Okay.
This is what I enjoyed when I was watching the Cajun chef out of New Orleans. What was his name? Justin Wilson.
Oh yeah.
You go woo wee, little more
Yes.
Tabasco.
Have
Woo
you
wee.
always been a foodie? As
Oh
long
yeah.
as, yeah.
I mean, I wasn't really, growing up because my mother did not prepare adventurous food. We had spaghetti, meatloaf, green beans, corn, and that's about it.
Got it.
We
Got
didn't
it.
have any exotic vegetables. We didn't have, Brussels sprouts or asparagus
Oh,
or
you're lucky.
choke or any of those kind of things.
My mother used to make Brussels sprouts and turn them gray. Right?
What what was your vegetable that you hated growing up?
Brussels sprouts. I hated it, but I
Yeah,
like them now when they're roasted.
I cannot eat a raw tomato to save my soul. But if you do anything with it, I'm okay. Turn it into ketchup, turn it into salsa, turn it into even the sun-dried tomato with some olive oil, on it and stuff. I'm fine with it. But if it's in its purest state, its original off the ground condition, it's horrible, right? You open it up, it's all jelly-like in there. It's like the bottom of a petri dish. There's a bunch of seeds and little black things staring at you. It is
Well, you
grooky.
know what those seeds are? The little black
I have
thing.
no. I don't know. I don't want to know. Think
I
it's
gotta tell you,
alien
their
life form.
eyes. Their eyes. They
Oh,
truly are. We
you
should
just
talk
back the
about
mic from
radio
that.
for a second. We got into radio at the age of about 15.
Yeah, it was a middle of high school. I mean, I formed an interest in it earlier than that in junior high school, and I'd gone and toured a couple of local stations. I got to go through KNAC in Long Beach
Right.
in about '69, and in about 1972, I went through KHJ in LA when they were
Ken
on the Melrose.
Jeffries is saying hello.
Who?
Ken Jeffries.
Ken is a nice man. He's
Yes.
a
Ken,
talented
Ken
broadcaster. I worked
Jeffries.
with him in comedy radio in Thousand Oaks in
Yes, he did.
1985. In
And
fact, that's the job that I left to go get sober. The guys drove me over the edge. I couldn't drink anymore after I worked with them.
okay, I have this, and I think it'll work. I'm hoping. We've got the oil over here.
That's making noise.
I'm going to make 2 patties. Oh, it smells good. Now, these may not hold together. I'm not sure, but we'll try.
Well, I mean, I don't think they necessarily have to.
Yeah, hey, I never pre-do the show. I fake it as we go. So I never test the recipes in advance. We've got some water going in the back. I'm going to add a splash. You won't be able to see this yet.
Where's your microphone, Mark?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, where's your microphone?
Um, we found out that there's some kind of a feedback or a buzz. So I'm using the built-in mic.
Okay. Because when you turn your back, you're not as easily heard. Right?
Good point. See, radio. Is radio still viable?
Of course. I mean, video killed the radio star in 1975 or 76 with the Buggles, but that didn't happen, right?
Right.
I think that people still depend on the radio. They say that of any media that people listen to or watch, there's still 85% of the people go to the radio at least once a week. I think it's the most viable thing to listen to in your car because you don't have to play disc jockey and juggle a bunch of CDs around or go into some service that just plays music and doesn't entertain you or tell you anything. I think that the thing is, whatever medium you need to get from point A to point B, it's content. It's whether you find compelling content, something you like to enjoy and listen to, makes you laugh, makes you think of something you hadn't thought about in a while. Those
Right.
kind of things.
Well,
Every day.
people, the movie people thought that uh, radio was dead, or TV. The movie people thought movies were dead when TV became popular, and they were wrong.
It's the
I'm going to
environment, right?
try now to flip our little buns. Our
You
little,
flip your buns, and I'll just sit here.
yeah. Let's see what happens. Nope, not going to work. But we're going to.
Just cook it on all sides; it'll be fine.
All right. It's okay. What we're going to end up doing is that we're going to put this on a plate, and we'll have the egg on top, and we're going to poach the eggs right now. So
Okay.
this is a trick that I learned.
I'll
And
put
look
the
at my mug.
vinegar in.
Uh,
Oh, you have a Three Stooges mug. That's
yeah.
good.
So
That's always good for something.
I'm gonna put
Well, certainly.
put that egg there, and um, move this back to here. This one. I'm going to move the water here. And this is a trick that I learned from you, Daryl. I put the egg in here so that I can gently pour this in. And I'll do another egg.
Now, make sure you want a runny yolk.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you don't want to hard boil that yolk, or it loses all the chutzpah, all the good stuff that comes out of it.
I didn't like eggs as a kid because my family overcooked the egg. I'll put this other one in.
And the broccoli, I understand. Yeah.
All right. And
So you put
now,
vinegar in that water, right?
I'm sorry?
You put vinegar in the water to
I
help
did. We
hold
put a
the.
little bit of wine vinegar in the water. We're going to watch
Good.
those. Carol will watch those for us. Over here, I have 3 egg
Hey,
yolks.
she can watch those, and I'll watch her. How's that sound?
Yeah, you got it. Heat this up. I'm going to make hollandaise sauce from scratch. I'm going to let this heat up a little bit. soon as it starts thickening a little bit, we're going to start adding some butter.
Yep.
This is not a low-calorie dish. It's not.
No, by no stretch of the imagination. It was never meant to be.
Oh, my eggs are poaching well. The the um, the yolks are not overcooked yet, and I lowered the heat.
Now, the yolks need to be still runny, but that stuff around the outside of them has to,
Yeah,
cook.
you notice right now the eggs are thickening up. I'm going to take it off the heat. I'll bring it over to here.
Yeah, you want to try. You want to try to not let it break, but it'll taste just the same.
Well, this is going to taste good. I can tell that already. Lowered the heat. We'll add a little bit more of this. Now, this is more butter. I'm going to put a squeeze of lemon juice in.
Well, that's appropriate.
And this is a Meyer lemon from my tree.
I was going to say that sounds like it came out of your backyard.
Yep. Take it off the heat a little bit. Hmm? Yes. The eggs are poaching beautifully. The white is still cooking, and which means that the yolk is still going to run. Add that in like that. Now I make every now and then when we have family members over, we'll make regular eggs Benedict.
It just seems like whenever there are a lot of choices on a menu, a breakfast menu, that seems to be my go-to because it's good. I mean, it can be. There's some errors that could be made. It's a restaurant, but generally, they're good at that. If they're going to put it on the menu, it means they're good at it.
Or at least they think they are if they're good at it. Turn up the heat just a little bit. I'm going to turn that to low. Now this is not going to be exactly, it's a little thinner than, let that sit there for a minute. I'm going to come back over here and I'll show you this. What we're going to do is, this will be our base. It won't be a patty because somehow I messed up, but we're going to save it. Okay, here we go. I have never had hollandaise sauce, not hollandaise, before.
Maybe you're making the distant cousin the holiday sauce.
Oh, Howard Sandler says hello. Hey, good. You're on your way home. Good deal, Howard. Glad to hear it. All right, let's see how we're going to do this. I'm going to put a plate here, clean this up a little bit. Still hoping. There we go. Now, earlier today, Carol, I'll show you what she did. She took a poblano chili
Yes.
and she fire roasted it. We
Over
peeled
the
it.
just on the stove.
No, we did it in the oven, in the
Oh, okay.
broiler. In the broiler. I'm not going to use all of this. I'm going to use about half of it.
So the pepper itself got black on the outside,
Right. And we,
and then sweated off the
yes,
skin.
yes. Okay. I'll turn this up just a bit.
You know, you could probably do it with like a brulee torch or a blowtorch too.
Yeah.
All you need to do is blacken that skin, and then you sweat it off. You can take a towel, a wet towel or something, and put it in the microwave for just a quick blast. And when you take the pepper out, the skin, the black skin, just peels off.
Yeah. It was very
So you
easy.
cut the top off, open it up, take the membrane out, and you're in business.
And do you know why it was easy for me to do that, Daryl?
Because you didn't do it.
You're right. Carol did it. All right. I'm gonna. I like a runny egg yolk, but okay. So we're gonna take the egg. And look what I did.
See, this is going to be presentation 0, taste 100.
Right. I mean, I would not want to work in a restaurant. Now, this hollandaise sauce has cooked a little bit too long. And there is a way of smoothing this out. If I put this into a blender now, it would smooth out. We don't have the time for that. I'm going to cover that like that. And Daryl, this is my favorite part of what we're doing here. I get to taste it. And I'm going to turn this. Can you see? I'm going to bring this up a little bit. The egg yolk is runny.
That's the way it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, instead of a fork, can I eat this with a spoon?
You can eat it with your hands if you want.
Well, I get pretty messy and not get enough in my mouth. But I'm
They
gonna,
during one of the next food star challenges on one of those channels where they were trying to name a new Iron Chef or a new food star or whatever, Guy Fieri did a training in how to take a bite and then quickly be able to describe to the viewer what the bite tastes like rather than having to chew on it for 15 or 20 seconds because nobody wants to see that on TV.
no.
So you see you take that bite and tell us what it's like.
All right, here we go. This is fabulous, Daryl.
It's supposed to be.
My,
Yeah.
no, this is, oh my. The presentation needs some work, and that's my fault. But this is a great recipe. It's a little bit more complicated than what we've done in the past, but this is, excuse me,
Well, it wasn't my first choice.
it was your first choice, wasn't it?
No, my first choice was goose because I wanted to see on the Facebook, Mark Alyn cooks your goose.
I do that every week on Late Night Health with you. I lay an egg.
Yeah, and cooks a goose, right? So it's
Right.
you're getting full advantage of it.
Do you like goose? Oh, this is so good. And it's not spicy. Okay, it's got a nice sweetness. It's got a little bit of touch of hot.
Well, there's balance. There's some balance in there because you've got the honey offsetting the chipotles, and you've got the butter offsetting the poblanos. And
Yeah,
poblanos traditionally are the ones they use. Those are Anaheims for chili relleno, and
right.
they're not supposed to be hot. I've had a few because you really can't. And this is a problem with the fast food restaurants that serve jalapeno dishes. You can't really tell what the temperature of a jalapeno is until you bite it or taste it, right? That's why on these Iron Chef programs, some guys are always just taking a bite of the pepper before they,
Oh, no,
use it to
no.
find
I
out what it's
grew up.
about.
Let me say hello to, is it Jackie Carroll? Levine. And she just tuned in, said, "What is this?" Well, this is the insane Daryl Wayne
Watching Mark trying to
Eggs
kill himself
Benedict.
with hot
Rock,
peppers.
rock and roll Eggs Benedict. Thank you. And that's what this is. It's it's delicious. I'm
It's
saying
one of my favorite brunch foods.
it's going to be dinner tonight. I'm telling you. Excuse me. Um,
Now, does Carol get to taste it?
yeah, she'll taste it in a minute. You're gonna like it. Um, I have to tell you, we did a couple of little cheats, if you will. You can poach your own chicken breast and then dice it. I went to Trader Joe's. I got some pre-cooked roasted chicken breast, and they worked really well with this.
And a good $3 bottle of wine.
And no wine because it's dry January.
How's that working out for you? I mean,
Um,
you're not a person who drinks every day anyway, right?
no,
So you probably don't miss it.
yeah, I
Oh,
don't.
you're a normie.
Do you?
Cheat days.
I'm sorry.
You've had some cheat days.
I bet your dinner bill's gone down quite a bit.
Drinks.
Yes, I'm. Yes, the do you? And I don't know. I think I've asked you this before.
Go
Do you
ahead.
still crave alcohol
Not
after all these
necessarily.
years?
But there's always the fear of getting too cocky about it. So I mean, I don't say after a day of working in the yard, say, "God, a cold beer would be really good right now." I haven't said that out loud or in my head for like 30 some years. I'm 38 years clean and sober. There's a good chance that I'll be sober tomorrow, but I don't take that for granted. I thank my lucky stars, if you will. My higher power is not lucky stars, by the way, because it would be I'd have to have a leprechaun tied up around here somewhere. But I thank whatever I pray to or you pray to that my sobriety continues because it is the most important thing in my life.
It is. It is.
Because otherwise, I would not have my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate that. I have to say, Jackie, your memorable lemon eggs Benedict was at a little diner in Sausalito. Um, Sounds good to me. Let's go.
Yeah, I
um,
was going to say to sort of conclude the thought on the alcoholism. The fact is that if you're having this dry January and it's a problem for you, it may be an indication that you may have a drinking problem
right.
if you can't handle going 30 days without a drink, or if it's tough to do.
It's uh, and mocktails are becoming very very popular. Three Spirit is one of the leading mocktail mixes. Uh,
Is that 100% alcohol free?
yeah, 100%
Is that,
alcohol free.
yeah, the spacers, the near beers, or any of that, or some of them may have still a little bit of alcohol left. I mean,
Right.
I don't use deodorant with alcohol in it. I don't use any kind of medicine with alcohol in it. I mean, to this day, and this is 38 years ago that I stopped drinking. I read the labels on stuff. I make sure that it doesn't come to me in a way that I'm not expecting.
Yeah, it's this is alcohol free. It's made in England, um, and we're going to be doing a show for Valentine's Day, because what people don't realize is that alcohol, you ply somebody with alcohol and you think, wow, I can get lucky. But the problem is you may not be able to
It's a lottery
perform
kind of luck. Yeah.
because of the, you're lucky, but you can't do anything. And that's for both men
Yeah.
and women, by the way. Daryl, we didn't talk enough about radio. So I'm going to invite you to come back.
Radio at any length of any time.
I love radio. I listen to old time radio in my car. Okay, Jack Benny, Orson Welles. I don't like Milton Berle, but The Shadow. I'm trying to think. Even Dragnet. And they paint such vivid pictures. So
Remember Biggie and Molly?
when
There's
you
great radio. I love the stuff with there's some people's voices that just knock you out. Robert Conrad, who was Canon on TV, had a great voice. I
Will,
love listening to voices as
William
well. There
Conrad.
was a scene in the Bucket list with Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, and they were sitting in a restaurant somewhere, and they were having this discussion. And to listen to their voices and their timing and the way that they were presenting back and forth each other was just amazing dialogue. But yeah, I'm a radio a fiend, born and raised from a
Yeah.
very young age, junior high school. Took an interest. Last week was National DJ Day or DJ Week or something, and a lot of people posted a lot of stuff about their early entry into the business. And like many people there, I had built a little, you know, turntable setup with the switches and some volume controls, and had my little radio station control board built when I was in junior high school and through early high school. And by the time I hit 15, I was working at a professional radio station and never looked back.
Wow, that's incredible. I have to say that Daryl did some other things in his life. He spent a lot of years in aerospace. He went back to
Yeah,
school. He got a master's degree. This
that's
is
correct.
one smart cookie. You know.
I, I missed the last comment, Mark.
And I have to tell you also that Daryl is literally the nicest man in broadcasting. There's just no question about it. And I'm not the only one who says that. Daryl,
Yeah, I'm sure that there's some people who would agree with that, but there's some people that wouldn't. It's one of those businesses, and it's always nice when you have somebody that rarely somebody says something bad about. Uh, we lost Jim Carson, a local DJ here, on last week, and there was a celebration of his life over the weekend, and it's you never know. You just never know. So
I know.
if there's plans that you've made to visit somebody, if there's a get together you're supposed to be going to that you just don't want to go, the fact is you should attend because you never know what's going to happen next.
Well, Daryl, will you come back? Will you do this
Yeah.
again? I know I
Oh,
took 2 years to have you on, but I wanted to make sure it worked.
well, it took the first year for you to even tell me you were doing it, right?
Yes.
So
Well,
it's,
we didn't know what we were doing, and we still don't. Obviously, we still don't.
I think that anybody that goes into something head on that knows what they're doing and thinks it's not going to change, you're it's crazy.
Somebody just walked in. Hi there. You're on international TV. Um, I'll let you go. One last thing. How do
Oh
people
yeah, what?
knuckleheads tonight?
Uh, I'm sorry. What? I'm sorry.
How do people listen to the knuckleheads tonight?
There's a couple of easy ways. You can go to kdsk.com. We start live at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Or you can go to altbossgold.com. Or you can go to camaradio.org. camaradio.org. So there are three places that we're live that you can hear. And then it's a delayed broadcast on KDSK. It's on Boss Radio on the weekend and Alt Boss Gold on the weekend. That's the other place we're live is altbossgold.com. So
Well,
live tonight, Alt Boss Gold, ALTBOSSGOLD.com, KDSK.com, and we are on camaradio.org.
And I should say that on Boss Radio, Daryl does a daily shift. He's also on the air in Albuquerque. Daryl, we have to go, but I do appreciate your having fun with us. Let me tell you what we're doing next week. Do you like vegetables?
Most, except the tomato
Except for
tirade.
the tomato. Well, from Melissa's Produce, we're going to have Robert Schuler on next week. We're not sure what we're making,
Not,
but
not not the minister.
not the minister. I don't even know if he's related, but he's been with Melissa's for over 27 years. So we'll be visiting with him next week here on Mark Allen Cooks. Thank you very much for tuning in, watching. We appreciate it, and we will see you next week. Bye bye for now.